Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. I was ready to do my Mr. Rogers impersonation because I was sitting here daydreaming. Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. Daydreaming. Remember that one? Okay, come on in, 70s. Okay, I'm feeling nostalgic today. Ooh, there's a big word for you. Welcome Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm excited to be alive. I'm excited to be here with you. I'm just plain excited. Can I get an amen? I'll kick it off. I'll go first. There it is. Amen, amen. That's the bell of purpose. Did you see me just slip on that spiritual banana peel and ring it? Nope, didn't happen, because I ring it on purpose, and I ring it with purpose, because that is a reminder. All through the broadcast, if there's some truth traipsing around out there in the middle of the intersection, you're going to hear the bell, because I like to remind us to never miss that. Don't ever be out of tune with the truth. It has a ring to it, just like the bell. See how I did that? See that? Yeah, that's it right there. Also, been here every day, all 8 years. January 6th begins year number 9. Here she comes, my version of Ed McMahon, Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo, and she's back there, 2 versions of her. My 2 favorite episodes. Guess what they are of I Love Lucy? Vita Vita Vegemin, and I am the queen of the gypsies. Queen of the gypsies. Remember, and she was in there doing stomping the grapes. So anyway, love me some Lucy. So anyway, I'm so glad you're here. I only have a short announcement. We have a brand new sponsor. You see the QR code, the flow code to be exact, up in the corner. I always get this part wrong. There you go. I pointed there. It's hard to do. It's like rubbing your stomach and patting your head. Or is it patting your head and rubbing your stomach? Is that the same thing? Anyway, ADHD in the house, clearly here. My superpower is in full effect today. How about yours? Drop it in the comments. Come on in here from wherever you're at. We're glad you're here. We got a great show for you today. Miss Carolyn Cooper is in the house, and she's got a lot for you. She ignites purpose, says that she empowers leaders. She's an inspiration mindset coach and a strategist. She's serving business professionals who want to be, guess what? Purposeful, as I ring the bell of purpose. She wants them to be purposeful and profitable leaders. And if that sounds like you or someone you know, then come on in. We've got something for you today. Listen, right now, I want to commission you. I really do. I want to get you, this is an immersive experience, if you will. First of all, I want you to drop something that you're grateful for into the comment section at any point today. And I also would like for you to share this out. Why is that important? Because we bless people in the manner in which we want to be blessed. That's all there is to it. It's free. It's not painful as far as I know. And you're going to get something in return. So share it out and let's get going. So I know that she's here because she's checked in. I hear her coming down the hallway as we speak. Put your hearts on the screen, won't you please? It's our virtual way of saying welcome as Miss Carolyn Cooper makes her way to the stage. Well, good morning. How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful, and I love that you start with the truth.
Oh, yeah. That's really all there is. I like that from beginning to end, rooted to the tutor. Yes.
Love it.
How you been since I saw you last?
I have been fabulous. I have started a new mastermind with 12 amazing businesses from around the globe yesterday. Okay. And we focused on purpose for an hour and 15 minutes.
How'd that go?
It was absolutely glorious. And what I love to see is people blossom when they define and realize their why, their reason, their meaning to serve the world from their highest self. And it was glorious to witness and celebrate.
Now you're in Canada, correct?
I am. I'm in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada.
Okay. Awesome. Well, look, here's a little thing I like to do every day with our guests. I'm going to dip out for up to 60 seconds. You don't have to take the full 60, but if you want to, go right ahead. And I do that so that the guests can kind of just speak directly to the audience and pour into them from the heart and kind of talk about why you're here today and what it is you feel you're blessed every day to be able to do that, you know, for a fact
eases some form of suffering in the world. So go ahead and take that one. I'll come back in shortly and we'll get started. Go ahead. All you, Carolyn.
Okay. So I'm on a mission to support businesses to no longer suffer. No one has to suffer alone. There's support available online, virtually, in person. And in order for businesses to be successful and turn their purpose and passion into profits, we have to come together. So that is available free with many global virtual networking communities, as well as masterminds. And we need support along the way. And we need love. I'm on a mission to bring love back to business.
I was just going to say, I was looking on the wall while you were talking, so she got a thing for love.
Yep, big time.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's as good a place as any to start. So why don't we start there with love? So when you say love in business, the reason I'm going, that should be a drink. Well, carrot juice drinking game, or coffee drinking game because it's morning. But every time we say the word love, can you imagine? Now that'd be a good drinking game.
I think so.
As long as it wasn't alcohol, because that'd be too much. But I want to ask you this because in business, we've heard for a number of years, particularly so I think since COVID, a lot of companies are ditching the premise of, "Ooh, we're a family." You hear people saying that that's a negative thing or da 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 da. So if you take the family dynamic out, what does that make you? That's back to colleagues, friends, or people in cubicles that don't talk to each other, people that don't even gather around the water cooler like days gone by. What does it really mean? And do you believe that this is leading one of the roads that leads to lack of love in the workplace?
Yeah.
Go ahead, talk about that.
Well, I would adore to, because love is what's missing. Caring for people, thinking of them as a human being, bringing the humanness back to business. And also it's about being open and curious and seeing how we can support, guide, and nurture each other. Because when you love your business, you love your people. That is your employees. That is your strategic partners. That is your vendors. And you show appreciation. I just did an interview live yesterday with one financial advisor that owns a huge office. He sends handwritten thank you cards after every meeting that he has with his clients.
I know somebody who does that too. And
he is the only one who does it.
Oh, he's not the only one.
Well, no, but in his.
Oh, I was going to say, I just told you I know somebody who does it.
I mean, there's not very many people who do it. I mean, this is he said, this is old fashioned. Yes, it is. But guess what? I found him and he looked after my mom's finances. He looks after my finances. He looks after my son's finances. I've recommended him to many people because he cares. Now, what we've lost in business is caring. What lost in business is this concept of finding what we love about our business, which is our purpose, and also serving from our highest self. So for me, I've been doing this for 40 years, Dr. Lauren. So I'm no spring chicken. I've never been so forward in talking about bringing love back to business as much as I have since COVID.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go here with it. Because I know I get a lot of coaching clients that come my way. A fair number. Let's put it that way. Probably 30%. Either still have both feet, or got their feet chewed off inside the mouth of the corporate monster. So I want to say this. There is a difference between when you go to work and that's what you get paid for, or if you are doing the work, which is what you were made for. Because a lot of people, you got to have passion if you're going to love it. And sometimes that doesn't match what's hanging on the wall as your degree from so-and-so.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is because I believe that purpose is more synonymous with the term calling. There's a calling on your life. And it doesn't mean that it's doing what grandpa did, doing what daddy did, following in the footsteps of anyone but your own, So tell me about that. How do you work this in? Because a lot of people, there's not even an L between them and where they go to work every day, let alone O-V and E.
Exactly. So I'm going to start with the word faith because
One of my favorites.
you have to be open and curious and willing to see what sizzles your soul, what intrigues you, what you're curious about, what sparks that enthusiasm, that where time goes by, that you just know you're doing the right thing. I have one great story that would take 2 minutes. I hope I can take it.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I have one client, her name's Erin, and she will see this. She was a massage therapist. She was burnt out, 8 years. Absolutely exhausted emotionally, physically, had a large clientele and knew she couldn't do it anymore. And she came to see me. So we talked about her clients. We talked about one area of clients that she served, that she loved. She said, well, there isn't enough business with that. She had her mindset wrapped around doubt, fear, will never work. So we shifted that over some time, and she decided to specialize in serving women going through breast cancer. Her practice grew. She stretched way out of her comfort zone, because that's what we have to do. We have to do the research first. We have to find out if you're in corporate too, you have to look outside what is and be open to seeing what can be. So what Erin did is she got oncologists referring businesses to her. She created a whole video system called the Mastectomy Guide, supporting online for women going through pre-surgery and post-surgery. She told me, I can't do videos. I don't do videos. I'm a shy person. I said, yes, you will. And she did. Now she's got her purpose. She pivoted. Now she is teaching massage therapists around the world how to work with women going through breast cancer. She has the Mastectomy Academy, Mastectomy Guide Academy. So that is miracle stuff to me, because she was going to quit. And now she's serving not only the massage therapists and women going through breast cancer, but she's supporting all those other massage therapists to have their purpose, their passion, and save the physical parts of their body and know that they're making a difference in loving those women. And so that's a great story. I love her.
Yeah, it is. And so, but she's sounds like she's a solopreneur, entrepreneur.
Yes.
Work for herself.
Yes.
So what about that person though that has to take the train into the city?
Yeah.
Like a lot of my neighbors, I live in Chicago in the suburbs, and a lot of them commute to the city. And I see them, coming and going. And the train station is right down the street from us. And so I'll see them, sometimes. And I'm like, why is everybody wearing black? Everybody out there is in black. And like it's some prerequisite to get on the train or something. Let's talk about that. What do we see? What are people really showing us when we see those, those clips of the streets of New York during rush hour? People bustling by like they don't see anything. They're oblivious to everything. They don't smile anymore. A lot of people, because we had the mask for so long, and that was the thing I missed the most, was just smiling as you passed people and receiving them in return. Sometimes a smile can snap you out of something where you're going in your mind that's not going to serve you later. So smiles are very powerful. They're very potent. They're very healing. So let me ask you this. So how do people love when they get to work if they aren't in the spirit of it? Because love is a spirit. It's an essence.
It is.
So, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
There's a lot of components. So that's a toughie, if you ask me. How do you do it?
Well, it's a journey personally.
Yeah.
And it's making a decision, Dr. Lauren. I think it's being open-minded. I had a mentor when I was 18 that changed my life, and it's everything that I stand for. And its significance is this key. And it's my business, The Inspired Connection. And it's called thinking above the line. The line is a decision. It's a decision to be curious that there's something more, something better. It's having this wide berth of wonder. You said today's a great day. I wake up every day that way.
Yep. Yep.
And I say, thank you, God, for this glorious day, once again, to serve for my highest self. So my position is this. The people that are running from one place to the next, that are looking lost and not connecting with anybody, which is what you're describing, they are thinking below the line, which is scarcity, lack, doubt, fear, confusion. And thinking above the line is having an open mind and deciding that life is good and to look for the good. And if they don't like their job, talk to some people in other areas that they can find a new path, a new purpose. But it takes that decision first to change your mind, because that spiral below the line will keep you stuck, keep you in pain, and that closes off any connection with anybody.
I agree with that. I'm gonna say this though, I don't know how you do it, because I've never been able to, and we kind of do the same thing in a lot of ways for people. However, I'm gonna just keep it real. Because you guys hear me talk about this all the time. That's why there is a bell of purpose. That's why I keep things around me within reach, because I know for a fact there's no way I can wake up every day that way. I do not wake up this guy every day. I do not. I have pressures on me. I have worries and concerns. These things, that, and the other. But what I do not wake up with is doubt. I leave doubt out. If you leave doubt out, all the other things, here's why. Because doubt leads to worry. Worry leads to fear. Fear leads to anger. And anger will lead to destruction. So if you leave doubt out, the rest of them don't even have teeth nor talons. They don't. So I want to get to the point where it's important for us. This is good stuff. This is important. I'm not saying that Carolyn can't wake up every day that way. I'm just saying I know that I can't.
Right.
I'm a human. I'm just like everybody else. Sometimes I forget that fight or flight is really the only time that something impending, something threatening my vessel is kicked in physiologically. That doesn't happen with any of those others, right? So what I'm getting at is this. I think that let's go into unconditional love, because that's how I'm able to find my way back to me, to find the clues. See, I can put all the clues I want around me, but if I don't wake up with a spirit of seeking, which is a guarantee you're going to find, it's connected to a promise, universal promise, I will find every reason to not believe those things are what they are laid there to remind me of. Yeah, but that doesn't happen to me. You see what I'm saying? I dig myself, my own hole, by the way that I am speaking to myself. So Let's talk about unconditional. How do you use unconditional love? What does that mean to you?
Oh, it's so yummy. It's delicious. It's inspiring. Unconditional love is this to me. It doesn't matter what situation that I'm in for myself. So I'm talking about unconditional love for myself and other people. Doesn't matter what struggle, what challenge, life is challenging. Life is hard. It's what we think about those moments. So unconditional love, I think, is assessing the situation, the circumstance, the issue, the problem, and making, this is the key. This is what I do. Making an immediate decision that this is happening for me or them. And what's the solution? Where can I go? Who can I call? What can I do? And I surrender to it with all my feelings in the moment. So if it's extremely hard, I allow that energy to move through me. And solutions come immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can tell one story where I thought, okay, this could be impossible right now. What's the answer? So I listened to my internal voice of wisdom with 100% commitment to follow through what those answers are. And you know, I mean, I did it with you, didn't I?
Yeah.
And following through, and you sent me that beautiful LinkedIn message back. So this takes discipline in your thinking.
Oh yeah, plenty of that. Plenty of that, definitely. Now, I was snooping around in some of your on some of your platforms, social media, and I found, I think it was LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure it was on LinkedIn. In your about section, you said you asked the question: are you a heart-centered business professional ready to revolutionize your industry?
Yeah.
And heart-centered is what stuck out to me, because I said, well, I wonder what the definition of that is for that changes from person to person. But what does it mean when you say heart-centered? What does that really mean? Is that like the ooey gooey chewy Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? You know what I'm saying? What does heart-centered mean to you?
It means that you have an intentional position to care about people, about results, and that you have thought through your reason for being here. And I will tell you, every single human being, all 10 of the folks that I have in my mastermind that started yesterday, one in Italy, lots in the United States, some in Canada, every single one of them are heart-centered. And the first meeting we had for 1 hour and 15 minutes was absolutely extraordinary, because they all are intentional. One runs a retreat center in Italy. She's glorious, but she is intentional in bringing experiences that people will value. And it's her intention. She's Italian. She's a cook. She has her own cooking show. So her heart-centered position is to create the most glorious experiences for these people that come to Italy for these retreats.
Okay, so I want to go here, because this is a real thing too. This is like back in the day when personal trainers all had to be certified and this, that, and the other. It meant something. If someone said, I'm a personal trainer, a certified personal trainer, they went through a lot to get there. Nowadays, people can throw any shingle up and be self-proclaimed this or that. Now, we all know that in this world of woo-woo, in this world of self-evolving, awakening, you name it, there's so many categories. Not everybody can deliver what they promise. Not everybody can. And the thing is, and so I'm curious. So like when someone says that they are heart-centered, is that something that we can self-proclaim, or should we be dubbed that by the people we serve? Because there are a lot of people who stand on stages, especially pay to play, I'm just saying it, that are up there to say anything to get that rush to the back of the room to sell whatever it is they're peddling. And people come away, sometimes it was their last chance, their last hope, their last dollar, take your pick, and nothing changes. And now their inspirational flame has gone out. Happens. You know it. How many times have
breaks my heart
into a discovery call with you as a coach, smelling like soot because they've been burned?
Yes.
It breaks my heart. No one talks about it like we should. Not many.
Well, oh my goodness. I started a global virtual networking community with a partner when COVID came, just to help businesses. We just started serving for a year and a half, and then it turned into a huge grandconnection.ca is what it's called.
Yeah.
And, in the last 4.5 years, I have seen so many businesses that have been burned with empty promises and guarantee, this in the next 6 weeks or the next 3 months, and
Right.
just give me $10,000 or, and
Why do you
nothing
think they
changes.
get away with it? Why do you think they're so successful? Peddling hollow promises,
Because
shallow
people,
intentions. Why do you think? Who's to blame? The person pushing it or the person falling for it?
well, I think that we have to do our due diligence before we invest our financial abundance. I don't care if it's $15, or you have to do your research, and you have to talk to people who have experienced that person's services. You have to do your research, because there are so many empty promises. And because inspiration is why I was born here on the planet, and what I am here to serve and do. To see people's inspiration be taken away is just wrong on my watch.
So there it is. Let me tell you how that happens. You said inspiration, you said intentional. So therein lies the clue. Because we have things called instinct, intuition, intuitiveness, insight, inspiration, in spirit, intentional. They're all internal, they're all inside. And the only way people can get in and do what we were just describing is through our own invitation. Because when something just sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Now, my point in bringing all this up is this happens to people who want it easy. They want the cross to be light. They want the burden to be thin. They don't want any accountability. They don't want consistency. They want a shared custody agreement. Pick it up and put it down at will when it feels okay, when I'm in the mood. No. If you're going to do the work,
you have to.
It is 365 every day, all day.
Right.
It is, right?
Well, it's a commitment. It's a decision. I'm going back to thinking above the line. It's moment to moment, but it has to feel right. And you have to listen to that internal voice of wisdom.
Right. That's your intuition, right?
Well, it is.
Yeah.
And,
it just feels right.
Yeah, it does. It resonates. Here's heart-centered again. It resonates with my heart. I'm not I have a few rules that I give myself. If it's a maybe, it's a no. If it's a maybe, it's a no.
Because there's still something. The due diligence, the vetting process is still moving. You haven't come to right. And she's absolutely right, you guys. When you make a move, when you step over a threshold, there should be no question. The only question, I look for the questions. You know what? I used to be afraid of. I look over the threshold to an opportunity. Oh no! But I know that if I don't see a question mark in there, I stay away from it, because the question means there's something greater than me in there. It's an ego trap. I don't need anybody. I know all of this. No. If I don't, how am I going to grow if I already got this mastered? Yeah. Right. So that brings us back full circle to the most important love of all. It is not unconditional love. It is self-love. Because how can you love something or someone else if you cannot love yourself? How do you feel about that?
Well, it's the truth. Ding, ding. I don't have a dinger. I'm going to ding,
but
ding.
A lot of people,
ding, ding.
Why do so many of us, Carolyn, why do so many of us sprint right past that mirror where we would look at it and say, I love you. You know what? Yeah, you got a couple extra pounds and wrinkles coming, but you know what? I love them. Yeah. What do we do? Any suggestions? What can we do to help ourselves and people around us?
Well,
embrace self-love.
Just really be compassionate with yourself. That's a huge aspect, I think. We show compassion and kindness and gentleness with the people that we love. Just turn it around. Turn it around. Look in the mirror. So that's one thing. The second thing is this. This is the biggest one of all. This is the one that I have passionately embraced in the last 5 years of my life. forgiveness.
Oh, yes. Big piece.
So it's the feeling of forgiveness, true forgiveness, the depth of forgiveness is loving ourselves, because we learn to accept ourselves. We have beautiful strengths. Every person on the planet has gifts, talents, and expertise. And usually our purpose comes from the painful things that we have lived through. So how I've learned to love myself is looking at those issues, things, circumstances, and dove deep and realized that this is my reason to be here, my purpose to serve the world.
Okay, so what about that person who they're, let's say, 15 years inside their career at Apex or Amex? What's the one they use on all the cartoons? Amex or whatever. Anyway, that one. You know, they're at company A. They're there. And they knew 10 years ago, oh, this sucks, but we got a baby on the way. We got a mortgage. I got a high intensity, you know, my spouse needs a lot of things, and I don't want to rock the boat. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and stay here.
Yep. And I'm just going to stay unhappy, and I'm just going to stay miserable. And then that energy comes to my wife and my children, or my husband and my family.
Because it creates a whirlpool.
It does.
The way you go home determines the way you go to sleep, lay your head down, which determines how you wake up and how you leave the house to go to work. It's like, if you're unhappy on either side, how do you not drag that, you know, your muddy feet on the clean carpet of the other place?
You do. It's like a dark cloud that carries with you. It's a decision. I'm going to go back to thinking above the line. It's a decision. And here it is. In my younger years, I'm in the latter part of my 6th chapter of my life here. And in my younger years, I left careers corporate that I'd been there for 14 years and 15 years. And I knew that I could have left for probably 8 or 10. So what you say is the truth. And there's a lot of people suffering in that position. So I will tell you straight, it takes courage. It also takes, you have to know your reason. You have to know what you want. So this is what I did. I wrote down everything that frustrated me. I took a foolscap piece of paper, the line down the middle, on the left-hand side of the paper, wrote down everything that frustrated me, the bureaucratic basic stories that were going on in this situation. I wasn't growing. I was feeling frustrated with the people. I knew that I could do something better and feel better. So I just listed that for probably about 2 or 3 weeks on the left-hand side of the piece of paper. Then I went back and looked at it. And so what would be the solution to that? So thinking above the line is looking at making a decision to change. So what's the solution? So I listed that. And then I started to think about, well, that's really what I want.
Yeah.
And then I could feel it. See, the whole thing is here in making a decision and deciding another path to take. I think it takes time. I think it takes an open mind. I think it takes willingness, but also research. So then I'd start to talk to some people. I talk to some people and I interview people in different roles and responsibilities. And then I'll put a new resume together, and then I'll put together. So I start taking action, intentional, inspired action. And what happens with my mind, what happens with my spirit, is that I start believing that I can transition from where I am to there. And then I create a beautiful vision, which is part of my passion in the world, is helping people do that. Because you have to have a crystal clear vision of where you're going to, including how you will experience that.
Eventually, it should be crystal clear. I got to admit, though, there have been times, because fear will cause a fog to stand between you and your intention.
Ding, ding. Can you ding on that one?
It will.
Fear will create a fog. That's good.
You see, I always say to people like this, it's like the bathroom window is fogged up and you see something moving on the other side of the fogged window. It looks like a monster. But as soon as you get the courage to go like this, you see it's a bird sitting on a limb.
Oh,
but it's distorted. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can see clearly. Now there's another song. Okay, a reference. So let's go here. What do you, in your work and your experiences, what would you say would be the top 2 most common fears that keep people from making that change from something to something better? See, if people would only get up, in my opinion, I don't know why so many people still believe decades inside of their life and their adult life that they still need to get up and write their story every day using all 26 letters of the alphabet. I go for one. I'm lazy. I'll take the lazy man's approach and the most effective. 1 E and 1 R. I already know there are things about me that are great. I already know there are elements of me that are bold. I know that there are things about my spirit that are nice and kind. But I also know that there could be something in front of me today that gives me an opportunity to become bolder, brighter, kinder, nicer. And I look for 1 E and 1 R, because when you do that, you go to sleep, you wake up the next day, all of a sudden they flipped on you. The E and the R is an R and an E. I wake up revived, replenished, renewed, refreshed, remembered to why I'm getting up in the first place. And so that's do you think some of us just make it too damn hard on ourselves?
No doubt about that. And we're addicted to it.
Love it. Oh, poor me.
Well, no, and you know what? It's not the truth. Let's get back to truth here. The truth is that every single person on this planet has infinite potential.
Yes.
Let's be real here. And you can't blame
why don't they believe it? Why do they think that happens to other people and not me?
Right. So that is a story that is not the truth.
Right.
I mean, if you just look at people that have accomplished amazing things in this world that have disabilities far beyond what we have, are they any different than us? No, they are not.
Ooh, I got a good question. What about this one? Which do you think is worst or hurts the deepest, cuts the deepest? The person who is moving through a lens of ignorance, they just don't know better, or the person who knows better but keeps going back and forth, and forth? Which one?
The second one for sure.
Absolutely.
Because guess what? I'm going to go back to thinking above the line. It's a decision.
A choice. I mean,
it is. It's a decision. It's a decision to ping pong. It's a decision
why?
To stay.
Why do you claim with your mouth you want better? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about how this affects the manifestation process.
Yes. Yep. What we focus on.
That. What do you know about manifesting?
I'm honestly, I think manifestation is so much simpler than what people think it is. It is this, and this is the truth, that what we focus on, we receive.
That's right. You hold it here, it materializes here.
Right. So you got to hold it here too.
I'm telling you, look, down, I'm going to show you something. It's down here in a box, but it used to be in the old studios. It was on the walls when I first started years ago. In this velvet box, people would, if I open it up and I say to you guys, oh, what do you see in here? They're going to say some bags with some Post-it notes in them and a whole bunch of Post-it notes still there, right? But no, this was the wall of purpose. And all the ones in the bags are ones that used to be on a wall. There are 700 of them when I moved. And the ones in the bags manifested. I would take them off the wall because now it's hanging on the wall. I would put them in front of me. I'd sit in the middle every day. And then as they appeared in my world, I'd put them, proof of them behind me to tell people there's something from the wall of purpose. It manifested. It flew over my head and now it's in the, because holding it here every day, I would look at that wall and look at as many of them. I didn't go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would just, wherever I was drawn,
Yeah.
I would say, why are you calling me today? You're on your way, aren't you? You're on your way. I can feel you. I hear you coming down the hallway. Let me tell you what it did for me, Carolyn. It shifted me from a perpetual state of, at first, when I first started that wall, I used to be surprised when things like this would happen. But now I'm never surprised. The only time I'm surprised, the only time abundance, blessing, increase are knocking at my door or ringing the doorbell, it's not because they're visiting me anymore. It's because they forgot their keys because they live here now. See, when I get them, I know what to do with it. If I'm surprised, I have no plan of what I'm going to do with something. So why should you receive a blessing if you have no idea what you're going to do with it once you have it?
And you got to ask for it first. Ask.
That's the intention. Speak it into existence and mean it. Say what you mean what you say. When it's full of meaning, it becomes meaningful. That's purpose. It works in all directions.
It does. It does. And here's the other piece I do is I ask my internal voice of wisdom, what do I need to do? What do you want me to follow through with in regards to that end result?
What is that? Tell me right now. Somebody's going, did she say her internal voice of wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
So is that spirit? Is that intuition? What is that for you?
Well, to me, it's God's voice. To me personally, I think
There it is.
God's voice, and I think that each of us are here to really love each other and support each other in whatever gifts we've been given based on our life experience, and we have to share it. We can't keep it to ourselves. That's why you're doing this show. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But I surrender to that voice.
Yes.
I do.
Yes,
and
yes.
I manifest things beautifully because it's not really me. Personally, it's God's plan. It's not my plan. I come up with some of the ideas, but I just follow.
How do you help people transition out of what they are, what has become a route, going through the motions, take your pick, into their calling? Yeah. How do you help them ease out of one and into the other?
It's first of all, it's self-awareness.
And
it's so I start with what they think about. Okay, so I start with mindset because people can relate to that. They can also gradually transition to be accountable. Okay, at first they think, oh no, I don't really do that. And I said, well, let's just have a conversation. Let's really look at the truth. So when we shift what we focus on and what we think about, the results in our life change too.
Yep.
The results are obvious. So that builds confidence for them, right? I mean, my one client that was afraid to do videos, now she is phenomenal on videos. I mean, her whole entire business is online.
Was she ever really afraid? Or was she just ignorant to what the experience could be?
What's that?
Or was she just ignorant to what the experience could be? Because I believe I used to say this. You guys saw, I want to remind you guys, and this ties into you. Angel numbers. My angels were talking to me this morning. For real. Look, you guys. So maybe we're talking about happiness. Yeah. So this was a post on Friday. And success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. Albert Schweitzer. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. And look, 1043, then 43, then 43. So 143 reposts, 43 comments, and 1043 emojis. And I had to look up what the number 43 meant. And it said, what did it say?
I love your curiosity. Honestly, I think it's just a blast. I do.
Because you know why? I don't believe anything happens. Meaning of number. I want to tell you guys what it means literally. Because I believe in the clues. It says 43 represents an energy of inner wisdom with its aspects. It indicates a nature of perfection. It searches ways and plans to lay a foundation for a future. And I say, oh my goodness, that's so exciting because it matches a lot of the things happening currently inside my everyday world. And this is what I mean. I might not have awakened this guy today, but this was right there waiting for me to stumble into, to walk in front of. But what I see and what it means for me and my intentions is the choice, is that decision that you were talking about. I could go, oh, look at that coincidence. Huh, isn't that weird? Sure is strange. Isn't that funny? How those are words that deceive. They make you think that things like this are arbitrary. No, let me tell you, just like trauma is not arbitrary. Trauma, the moment it touched your life, was the moment that something greater than you marked you literally for greatness.
Agreed.
That's what happened. And so I just love this because this was this morning. And here we are talking about how important it is. If you want to be successful, you need to be happy. If you want to be happy, it comes with success. But look how they close it. If you love what you're doing, to me, it's like right then when that word hits the table, so the hand of purpose pulls the table, go, and all the stuff stays on the table. And you go,
yeah.
It becomes the experience. Yeah. And you know, there's a thing, Carolyn, there's a thing. Our souls come to this experience known as life thirsty. And love, working from a place of love, it may not be profitable. Sometimes it may not be expedient. But one thing is for sure, it will satisfy your soul. And it will provide you protections that bodyguards couldn't even give you. So
I think it'll nourish it.
Yes. So how do people get in touch with you? What's the best way? We've got a couple. There's this one. Is this where they go to get that discovery call to see if you're a good fit for what they're looking for? Yes,
it is. My website is The Inspired Connection, which is everything we're talking about right now.
There it is.
Yep.
Now they can also head over to LinkedIn. I popped that one in because that's how I found you. Yep. I believe it was, we met on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Right?
And also I would be happy to book a purpose to profit strategy call with people. I'm happy to do that.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, it is. That's
right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell them about that.
So I meet with you for 20 minutes. Tell me where you are currently, what's working, what isn't working, and we'll talk about your purpose. We'll talk about discovering, if you don't know what that is. We'll talk about elements in which you can take intentional, inspired action. So I will give you practical strategies to move forward. And we'll talk about the options for us to take the next step or not. So it's just a conversation for 20 minutes. And I love conversation.
Right. Now, you know what I love about conversations, y'all? Two things. You should never have to come up with anything. And you don't have to practice for it. People always ask me, oh, you're going to send me some questions so I can get ready for the show? No. Did I send you questions for this conversation?
No.
Absolutely not. Let's just talk, right? You got to see. Let me tell you something as we get out of here. Well, first of all, before I go into that, expectations, real quick. Expectations. I know there's no template. What is for one person is not for the next person. But on an average, people that are truly dedicated, are willing to be accountable, and are willing to be teachable, open, not closed off. How soon can people expect to see some results, some change in their life if they're doing the work?
3 months.
See, that's what I use too. 90 days. 90 days. 30 days, it starts becoming a habit. 90 days, it's always been that way. It's like if you've ever switched your phones. I used to be an Android person. Then I got married. My husband brought me over to the dark side, the Apple. And I thought at first when I had the first Apple phone and it rang and no one was around, I was in a grocery store. And I was like, answer. Hello. I did not know how to make it turn on. And now if someone hands me an LG, I can't remember anything about it.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
it's true. When you die to one thing, you resurrect to another. You lay down something that no longer serves you to pick up something that serves you better so that you can serve the world better. I think what you're doing, Carolyn, is absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to take this. This is the link, right? For the 20-minute freebie.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to drop that one, you guys, in your comment section. Right now, there's 515 of you here, so I expect at least 512 appointments with Carolyn. Just
That'd
kidding.
be beautiful.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? But hey, set the intention. You never know.
Well, and you have to ask. And the whole thing that I want to wrap here, because I know that we're getting close, is I just want to thank you from the fullness of my heart for the way that you serve the world, because I understand you and I are doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I just think it's so refreshing to me to meet another human being who cares as deeply as you do, and who is so willing to continually evolve who you are and be open and curious and be this bright light for people, because that's what you are.
Oh, I received that. And thank you so much. And everything you're saying about me, I say about you. That's it. So, Caroline, thank you so much. Carolyn Cooper, you guys, the Inspired Connection. Now get over and check her out. I have just dropped that link, I promise, for the 20-minute freebie. Get in and check it out. Put it somewhere safe. Write it down. Pass it on. Just do something with it. Don't let an opportunity end up in your proverbial junk drawer. Remember, just like they said in what was the book? I just finished reading it. It'll come to me. But here's what they said: a blessing ignored becomes a curse. The Alchemist. It was in that book. Get that book if you haven't read it.
Mm-hmm.
Carolyn, thank you so much. Thank all of you. Listen, we're out of time, unfortunately, but not out of love. There's always more if you want it. Start with yourself. And remember, as you get out of here, places, that's what they are: faith, forgiveness, love, joy, all the things you cannot touch, you can only feel. They're not things at all. Each of them is a place. They're right underneath you. They're right in front of you. They're all around you when you need them. Take that with you. Have a blessed day. I'll see you, God willing, over on the front porch tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central. And you and I, you know it, we're going to have another illuminated conversation right here on Bathrobe Moments. Now get out there, find that E and that R, and take everything from great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger, and my personal favorite, nice to nicer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have the best day ever. Caroline, thank you so much. Wonderful,
Pleasure.
wonderful job. Keep up the great work, won't you?
I definitely.
Okay.
Sure.
You
Thank
guys have your best day ever. I love you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How explicit do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine.